Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to Gran Turismo. Yeah, it's not ready yet. Actually, you know what? It's pretty much the race today. It's a Nations Cup event actually. As you probably know, Nations Cup it started this week. The Nations Cup online qualified one. It was started today actually. But I wanted to compete it. But not sure if I competed it Saturday because I decided to do something to do that I need. But what the what the heck? Why is the phone message? But alright, so as you probably know, so uh, yeah, I maybe missed to do a TGS live stream like as always. But you know what? It's the race. It's okay, man. I think hmm, I love watching the entertainment, but race week is race day as well. Race at night is make me thinking, am I okay to compete? Am I okay with that? Buzzer! Oh no, I just said, oh no, it's my TV again. No, my TV is gonna, you can turn off like 20 minutes. But actually no, it's not 20 minutes actually, but, but it does make sense. It's pretty much the race I need to race this week. Because if you don't know, I love racing somehow in Gran Turismo because I want to try. Yeah, I want to try to compete. I want to try, and I want to prove people who also have autism also can compete as well, not like a normal people. Yeah, I'm sound like a person who live on television, on television, but yeah, I'm sound like a person do on the television. If you don't try something, if if you don't try something you want to do, you need to try it. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Oh, have a slot. But you know what? It's travel up. This one round one in Atlanta. Actually, you can use your own Lamborghini Aventador SV, or you can rent it. So I decided, you know what? I want to rent this car. renting Lamborghini, renting a Lamborghini for race. One thing about the Lamborghini Aventador SV. Even though this car is 10 years old, it's a very best sounding engine. It's what 300,000 pounds today. What the 350,000 pounds for the SVJ today. It's pretty much the SV today is pretty much the SVJ money. Yeah, as you probably know. Yeah, Lamborghini Aventador is one of the coolest Lambo back in the 2010s. Even though they finished off production about a couple of years ago, it was cool. And I pretty much love my favorite Aventador was the SVJ as well. This car is pretty much if you don't know where the Lamborghini Aventador front design from, it's the SV. The front is pretty much the SV inspired. I should turn the transmission but this thing I pretty much scared the crap out of it. Yeah, this is the last raw V12 engine Lamborghini ever built. The replacement of the Revelto HD. The Revelto HD is pretty much good looking car. However, it's a good looking with hybrid V12, and also amazing sounding. But the sound is pretty much different from the Aventador. The kind of engine sounding on this part. Yeah, the Aventador is one of the greatest cars of all time. I'm not gonna lie. This thing, it kind of reminds me of the cockpit view, guys. The console, it's digital display. It's cover actually. It reminds me of Lamborghini Baleno. Yeah, the Lamborghini Baleno. Yeah, it's pretty much the same identical sound of the normal Aventador, but the SVJ sounds different as well because they have the two different mufflers on the upper one themselves in between the bass as well. They beat well on it. You can get the titanium on that, and it sounds more menacing if you have the optional exhaust system. If I'm correct. SB is pretty much the coolest thing. This thing about 500 is still paying 600 on the roast, 500 on the roasted version, and I pretty much love it. But and also this part also in the Need to Be Unbound. I wish I could play Unbound on the, which is the game I wanted to play about almost 3 years ago. That game Need to Be Unbound, which is a 1 day's gap between the game Samurai Maiden. And if you don't know what Samurai Maiden is, people don't know that. You know, the culture. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but the Yuripoi game. I can say. I don't know why I say that, because that game is girls. You know. So if you're reading the light novel, mostly girls love BL. But this is GL, the girls love. What am I seeing? Why am I seeing? I can almost see. Yeah, as you probably know, when the Aventador came out with the single clutch 17 gearbox in 2011, it was quick actually, but wait, is it current day supercar they have a double clutch gearbox as well? No, this one is pretty much different, but this one. But not 60, but 2.8 seconds. The Aventador, the normal Aventador will want 2.9 seconds. What the heck? I thought that my game's gonna crash again. Dude, I'm very scared if the game crashes again, I will DQ myself. I mean, disqualify myself. So the reason Aventador they have a lot of have a lot of tire, mostly tire they use for Michelin, and also some people say it was Pirelli. Now Lamborghini these days they use Bridgestone. Yeah, Ruelto they use Bridgestone tires. The Ferrari also use Bridgestone tires as well. And you might be thinking, wait, why they have a Bridgestone tires? Because they have the reason why they use a Bridgestone tires as well. You might thinking, yeah, they have the Bridgestone Potenza F007 set tire on those cars. I'm not sure about that. If you are in the live stream, let me know. So let me know why they switching from Pirelli tire to Bridgestone tires. Yeah, I know. This is pretty much that I remember. Ferrari also used Bridgestone as well. Bridgestone Tensor tires. Bridgestone tires back in the 2000s. Yeah, because they in Formula One also they use Bridgestone. But until what 2009 they use 2010 they use Bridgestone. Most F1 back in the day they used Bridgestone until Pirelli had. And some, oh yeah, if you don't know, some GT cars like GT3, the Lamborghini as well, like Huracan GT3, most in the WEC they're using on that side was Goodyear. They're using Goodyear and also, and yeah, they only use Goodyear. In the Pentatech GT, they use Pirelli. If you notice the Lamborghini on the GT, they running with your power. Oh! Yeah, you can spin up almost spin the Lambo now. Okay, now I really much loving the Lamborghini because I love Murcielago as well. Not gonna lie, Murcielagos are one of the coolest Lamborghini of all time. Some kids don't know what is Lamborghini Murcielago. It came out back in 2001, and also for the replacement of Lamborghini Diablo as well. And then that car is the best engine and has 6.2 V12. When it came out in 2001, they had the V12 6.2. And then 2006 they had the 6.5 liters. Yeah, they have 6.5 liter on the Murcielago back in 2006. Some people noticed already. Yeah, I'm enjoying my snacks. 160, 270, 280, 290. Okay, some people watch the F1 as well. McLaren these days are dominating Formula 1. So I know some people say, oh, McLaren came back. Yeah, I limit no because I'm not pretty much following F1 a lot, but I'm seeing the result of the end place. Okay, most top factor I believe on this year F1 was McLaren. I know Red Bull is pretty much some people notice already the Red Bull was. I believe the problematic about Formula 1 because the FIA not allowed to swear, including the WRC as well. That was the most. You know what I mean. I couldn't get it. I don't want to swear because really I don't on the microphone sometimes. Yeah, it is. So, alright, here we go. This is the race is now on the way. Yeah, I'm admitted. I admit defeat. Yeah, I'm complete. I'm good. I'm defeated. Like in this race, actually. One thing, my team is always good. See, I want to stop glitching. Yeah, my TV is glitching. That's why I completely couldn't vote. I check on the monitor and it always. Man. もう負けた。認めてる。俺を負けてる。Man, same place I got on 125 early. I am in the beat. Really I am. Oh. Man, I gotta say, like this Lamborghini, I gotta say, I'm number one. I completely out of control with this car, the Lamborghini Aventador, because I was off the track a lot. Yeah, it was my fault. Sorry, I disappointed you guys. I I don't want to say sorry. I'm completely okay with it. What's your place? もう負けたよ。本当に負けたよ、もう。14万点。Yeah, I'm doing my best actually, but sometimes uh, sometimes the race wasn't on the other side at all. It it just I can't really I could keep up as well. Man, this one is this car practice for 420 the 28th of April. Yeah, I admit it. I got I lost. I lost the race. But it doesn't matter. It was meant. The fact of the matter is, like, man, I'm off the track a lot on this one. Wait, the one thing is, I just want to say, but they only said on the medium tires only. They should put the softer tire, the soft tire as well. Oh, man, I don't know. Yeah, eh. But I don't know what am I doing? Pushes. Oh man, that's it, man. Okay. 疲れてる。本当に疲れてるよ。もう、本当に疲れてる。So thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more, any other Gran Turismo or any other videos, this channel, be sure to smash a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. Follow me Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also all that, and TikTok. Link in the description below. I always put it on my link. I always change it. Okay. Alright, well, for this one. See you guys in the next live stream as well. Or if I have time, I will do the live stream as well. So, see you guys soon. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.